Unfiltered and unapologetic.
Uh, so we're gonna just jump into this with the second part of this show or whatever on WrestleMania weekend. Um there was a list that came out on Bleacher Report, and I believe the title of it exactly, if you want to go and look it up, is um God damn it, top
Bleacher
50
Reports Wrestling Top 50 Greatest WWE Superstars of All
top
Time
50
rankings.
W. Yeah, it's called Bleacher Reports Wrestling top 50 Greatest WWE Superstars of All Time rankings. And this lays out every superstar in pretty much across all the eras, I think, of WWEF,
Yeah.
WWF, whatever you want
Yep.
to
Men and women.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah, men and women. It's not just tailored to one group or the other. But basically, if you ever been a superstar, every superstar, the top 50 that they have. Now they had a criteria for this. So
Yes.
the criteria for making this list was historical significance. Did they have a meaningful impact on the history of WWE? Championships, popularity, needle mover. So basically, did they make a meaningful difference in ratings, ticket sales, or overall business? Time active. They called that sustained success over a period of time, or just like a flash in the pan. Pay per view appearances, and then skills. So in ring skills, mic skills, charisma, so on and so forth. That was the criteria. Now, do y'all want to go person by person, or y'all just want to talk about this high level?
Shit, we can go person for person, and as we
Yeah.
go through, we can talk about whether or not we feel they should be there.
Okay, so they started at 50. If you reading this and following along, you can look this up on bleacherreport.com, by the way. The credit to them for the source material. But if you're going along with us here, person number 50 or whatever to start the list was the Big Show. They list his accomplishments. If we read everybody's accomplishments, we'll be here all night. But basically, they list what his accomplishments is. They give a summary of his, highs, lows, and why he made the list, so on and so forth. That's gonna be for every superstar. But he started at 50. Personally, I think that's probably a little low, but I'm not upset about it. He deserves to be on the list.
I
Mm,
wouldn't put him in my list. I'm sorry. I wouldn't put him in my list.
He
yeah, I
was the
honestly feel 50 is good for him.
what? No,
Yeah.
what? Why?
I mean,
No,
Because
he's lucky.
not you. I'm
He's
sorry,
he's
not you.
lucky he's even
Not
50 because like Kay
exactly.
like Kay said, I wouldn't even put him on the list, but he's lucky he's at 50. So 50 is
Yeah.
good for him.
If we're judging by the criteria that they laid out,
he was a world champion several
but
times.
who
That's one that checks
but
about.
what was memorable about those runs?
Big Show when he came in as Paul White
He was
was at
great
the top of
then.
his game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that he because he was a needle mover. Just like the things he could do at that size, Big Show was doing kip ups back then, and
Yeah,
he
but
No,
I
had
but
mic
barely
matches.
remember it. Nobody
I don't
cares.
even remember
Now
that. That's shocking news
his
Yeah.
to me.
his mic skills and stuff weren't probably the best. But when you
Mm-hmm.
7'2", 500 pounds, and you doing kip ups and shit, I don't really think there's a whole
Yeah,
lot you need
but
to
the
do.
only thing people remember about him is the end of his career. He spent the end of
Yeah.
his career
That's
crying
WWE's
and
fault.
getting smacked by
That's
Stephanie.
WWE's fault. That was the creative. That ain't got nothing to do with him.
Hey, that was the
It,
last look, and
I
that's what
tell
we
you, the
saw.
main thing I remember about him is his feud with Big Boss Man. That was the most
That
memorable thing because that was
that
entertaining.
was
Talking
yeah.
about when he was with the
That
corporation.
was very entertaining.
Yeah, yeah, and he showed
I
up
don't think
at
he.
Big
Yeah, yeah,
Show's
yeah. When
stepdad's
he drugged
funeral
that
and stuff.
casket off the
Yeah,
out of the funeral. Yeah, man, that was crazy.
that
Yeah.
was entertaining. But yeah,
Who we
I would.
got next?
Leaders at 49.
I
Yeah,
I'm
feel
yeah.
like that's.
I don't have anything to
Look,
say.
if you got to do men and women, leader 49. Yeah, that worked.
I don't
I
really
don't have
care where
anything
she
to say.
lands. I'm happy she's on the list because
I
of
don't have.
Yeah.
her impact. So just off impact alone, she deserves to be on the list.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Don't have nothing to say. Moving right along. You know why I'm saying it, don't
I
you?
know what he's saying. You still holding that grudge from 2005.
Yeah, I'm moving right along.
It's just a storyline. Well, no, it's real life. All right, next. Who we got next? Vader.
Vader shouldn't be on this list.
What?
And
What?
let me no
Uh,
wait a minute. It said WWE's top 50. Vader didn't do a whole lot in WWE. Now, if we
but he
said
was in
wrestling,
WWE.
I don't. But he didn't do anything. Now, if we said wrestling and we look at his work from WCW and New Japan, then yes, he should make a top 50 list. He didn't do anything in WWE. He
Yeah,
wasn't
but
even the same
WWE
guy.
bought WCW, so it's included.
Ooh,
No,
good
His
point.
work
no,
in
it's not.
WCW is
But
included.
No, it's not. No, they don't list anything on here about him in WCW. And a matter of fact, if you look at his accomplishment, the only thing it says is WWE Hall of Famer. He made that off of what he did in WCW and New Japan. He
oh,
never he didn't I don't even think he was in WWE for more than maybe
he
two
was a
years.
mainstream superstar though. That dude was on talk shows, and he was on
Yes, but based off
and
of his work
sitcoms.
in WCW and New Japan. He was not
Oh, that
the
was when he
same
was in
guy.
WWE though too.
Yes, it was. I'm not denying that, but he was not the same guy, and he had no impact. He did not have the same impact that he had in those other two places. In WCW and New Japan, he was world champion at both places. He didn't, and he was feared. He did not have that same man. Go listen to Jim Cornette talk about when he was there and he was in fucking WWE. Shawn Michaels basically ran him up out of there after that little feud he had with Shawn Michaels and shit, and that shit didn't pan out. He was doing like upper mid card shit. He wasn't. There wasn't nothing impactful about his WWE run. Now I'm not
Okay,
saying
that's the run, but what about his skills? This dude could do a moonsault.
even that he was not really the same athlete as before. He could do that shit, but he had gained weight considerably. Go look at the tape of him when he was in WCW and he was world champion, and then look at the tape of him in WWE. It's not the same guy at that point. He still was Vader. I ain't taking that away from him, but he wasn't the guy from the late 80s and shit like that in those other two places. If we talking about a WWE list, he shouldn't be on it.
I think that this is solely based off the character, because people remember that character.
By the
People
time
still
he
doing
got to
moves.
WCW, by the time he got to WWE, it was 1996. He was not the same guy.
Well,
He
that's
Let's
when he
just
had them issues too.
anything.
Yeah, he had issues going on.
let's just agree to disagree, because I'm ready for this next one.
You ready to get into that one?
Yeah, because
It's another motherfucker
look, I
that
feel the
shouldn't be
way
on here. Dean Ambrose is 47.
exactly. I feel the way Sherrod feels about Vader. This dude shouldn't even be on the list. Dean Ambrose. He shouldn't be on the list.
No,
I feel like Sherrod with that too. He didn't really do much, and I mean he did stuff, but he was a terrible WWE champion,
Yeah, he was trash.
and he was a terrible US champion. Like when they stuck
I
him
just
with
didn't
that
find
title
Dean
during the Shield,
Ambrose
it
to
was
be entertaining at all in the time he was in WWE. He was the one person I was like, well, I can live without this. I'm good. I don't even understand. First of all, even though I don't think Vader should be on the list, how the hell is he? How the hell is he ahead of Lita, who's a multi-time women's champion and part of the Hardy Boys and Def? I don't even like Lita like that, but I don't think he should be ranked over her. Your damn show shouldn't be ranked over no fucking Big Show. And Vader not supposed to be on the list, but I wouldn't. Dean Ambrose should be at least 50 at this second, if on the list at all.
They wanted to get all three members of the Shield on the list.
I don't give a fuck. This is wrong. Like he shouldn't be on this fucking list. The other two guys have been champions several times and have done memorable things and stuff. Ain't nothing memorable about no Dean Ambrose.
When you really look at it and tap into it, you got a point there. You got a point there.
Dean Ambrose trash. Next.
Because you can't think
Garbage.
about Dean Ambrose did some good shit
No,
here.
he ain't nothing memorable about him at all other than being in the Shield. That's it. He ain't done nothing. He shouldn't even be on the list. You might as well put Jinder Mahal on there then.
Oh gosh. And this next one
That's
I
the
feel
same
like
thing.
is way too low.
This is
Yeah, me
disrespectful.
too.
This is disrespectful. AJ Styles at 46. This is
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah,
And the
that's
names
very
I'm gonna call
disrespectful.
after AJ Styles are that's fucking crazy to me. Like
He should be nowhere near the
I guess
40s.
I know this don't matter, but the man has been a champion everywhere he done been. I know it don't matter in regards to this list, but when he revived world champion, the house that AJ Styles built and all them matches he had and shit like that, dude. That, there's no way that he should be no 46.
Yeah.
I completely agree. This man got like a damn near 5-star match out of Shane McMahon. Just for that alone, you deserve to be high up on the list. But every feud that he was in, remember that feud he had with Samoa Joe? I don't know if y'all remember that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I
That shit
remember
was
that feud with
golden.
Samoa Joe. Yeah, but
That
Hell,
shit was golden.
they kept doing them no contest and DQ finishes that made it look fucking stupid.
bro, the whole story he had with the Undertaker was good.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
It was. It
Mhm.
was. He was phenomenal. No pun intended.
Bro, the
It
story he had with John Cena, beat up John Cena, that shit was rocking. Like, come on, man. They put this
That
man on
feud,
46, they tripping.
yeah,
nah,
that feud he had with Shinsuke.
but
That was
until
He had
they
so
fucked
many
it
good
up at
ones.
WrestleMania.
Look, he had so many good ones, way more than fucking Dean Ambrose. Why is Dean Ambrose
But
right after him?
he ranked ahead of Dean Ambrose. Now, what I don't agree with is putting Oscar ahead of AJ Styles. Now, I love me some Oscar, but
Mhm.
I don't know about no ahead of no AJ Styles. I think she should be on this list.
Well,
But yeah, I don't know
if you
about.
put her in the same category as AJ Styles, when you say like he's been champion everywhere, Oscar did the same thing. Oscar
That's
did a
true.
lot before she got to
yeah.
before she got here to WWE. She's a legend that
Well,
can compare to AJ Styles
she's
women
supposed to
wise.
be on the list, but I don't. I guess when you put it like that, maybe now who ain't supposed to be on this motherfucking list at all, and from the sublime to the ridiculous. Number 44 is Kofi Kingston. Now you tell me what the fuck, like why is he on the list?
I was surprised to see him on the list. I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised to
You
see him on the
trolling
list.
at this point,
You see this
like
stupid
this
ass
cap,
picture
like
of him?
you capping. Yeah, yeah, it looked like a dumbass. You capping. Like there ain't no way he should be on this fucking list. What is influence? First of all, how the hell is he over AJ Styles? Fuck for that matter,
Mm.
how is he over Oscar or the Big Show?
But see,
The
this is
only
one of the
person,
ones where they don't stick to their criteria.
no, they sitting there, they capping. Like this is cap. I'm not even finna comment on this. You 40, you over the Big Show leader, AJ Styles and Oscar. I need you to explain that to me. The man was world champion for 6 months and ain't never sniffed the belt again. And
They're
then
not gonna
got
give it back
buried
to him
when he
either.
lost the match.
Ain't no argument here.
None.
It's another one that pisses me off. Jeff Hardy, 43. Now I
He,
love me some Jeff
he
Hardy.
low. He low too.
I love me some Jeff Hardy, but over AJ Styles,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I, that's
but don't get me wrong. Jeff Hardy, Oscar, and AJ Styles are pretty low on this damn list when I think they should be higher. Now, what
yeah,
order? I don't know, but I do feel they all three of them should be a lot higher. Jeff Hardy did some shit. He the only
yeah,
dude I know go in there and try to kill himself.
yeah. He did a lot of
I felt like he was more
moves.
influential as a member of the Hardy Boys than the world champion.
Well, see, just his wrestling style, a lot of his moves were influential to this day. People are still doing the stuff he was doing.
Oh
He was
no, for
doing.
sure.
So that for that alone, the way you just revolutionized how people work in matches in a certain way, you should be higher on the list. He shouldn't be right here, but he should be a little higher. He shouldn't be above AJ, but I mean, he should be higher on the list.
42, Ravishing Rick Rude. Don't really have a problem with that. Not a lot of commentary. A little bit before my time, but the guy was fucking great for the few things I
He
know.
was.
I don't
Oh
have a
yeah,
problem
Fair.
with
yeah,
that.
he deserves to be where he is fine.
Yeah.
41, Sasha Banks. Not over fucking Lita. Now I will give credit to Sasha. Sasha and Charlotte the one ushered in women's wrestling, modern day women's wrestling. Lita, Jacqueline, Victoria, Trish, they laid the foundation. But Charlotte and Sasha Banks at one point in time for like a 2-3 year stretch was just going at it. They were the first women to have a Hell in a Cell match. They
Mm-hmm.
they were phenomenal in pay-per-views. Like they were when I really started paying attention to women's wrestling in the modern day version, not that diva shit. Like after that, you
Hold on,
know.
don't leave Bailey out of that. The
Yeah,
three of
but
them. I know you remember them Iron Man matches. Now stop playing now.
uh,
The NXT takeover. Whew. That was a great match.
but I don't know if I would put Sasha over Lita.
I would.
No, no, hell no,
I
no.
would.
I
Because
wouldn't put her on.
what
I
does Lita
damn
do
sure wouldn't
besides
put
her
her over
impact?
Oscar.
If we talking about work rate and what they could do in the ring, Sasha is head and shoulders above Lita. Lita, all she
That,
got is a moonsault.
that is true. Yeah, yeah. Because right now I'm just thinking about impact. Lita had more impact,
Yeah,
but
she definitely had more impact.
Sasha is all around.
That's what I was
Yeah,
basing it off of was Impact.
yeah. I'm with Kay on this one.
But
Sasha is an all around pick.
is she better than Oscar?
No,
Hell no.
I wouldn't
That's
say
what
she
I
better than
just
Oscar.
said.
No,
She
no,
shouldn't have been
no.
above her either.
Oh, okay. I didn't
No,
hear you say that one. I didn't hear you say that part. Agreed.
no, hell no.
Agreed.
No.
Like I said,
Now
Oscar should have been like in like the 30s, around maybe the
Yeah.
20s, high 20s, but in the 40s,
that's
hell
low.
no.
Superstar Billy Graham before my time, but the little things I do know about him and from what I read, I do remember Superstar Billy Graham. But saying, hey, I just I don't have a problem with that. I think maybe a little bit higher, honestly. He was a little ahead of his time, but I ain't got no problem with him on this list. That works for me.
Yeah,
What what
I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't seen not one Billy Graham match. He just wasn't my cup of tea. But I mean, if y'all feel y'all cool with where he at, then shit,
I
I'm gonna go
Yeah, I'm
with
cool
right?
with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it. 39 is RVD. Now I don't think he should have made this list at all. RVD
it.
Really?
was
You tripping?
Really?
for the same reason that Vader shouldn't have made it. RVD's best work was in ECW. Now, when he came
ECW
to,
was part of WWE.
can you stop doing that? They don't put that anywhere on this fucking list. There's nothing that say ECW television champ. Oh, I lied. They
You
did
say
put him in
ECW champion
ECW.
right there.
Yeah, ECW champion. Like when WWE owned it, the sanitized one, I believe, not the real one.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even if we put ECW to the side, he was doing some great shit in WWE
He
too.
was a beast in the
He was
WWE.
I'm
killing
not
it in
saying that.
WWE.
I think, man, when you say certain names, like if you say Rob Van Dam, I think ECW. Yeah, I know he was in WWE, and I remember him being world champion, and I know he had some good matches with the Undertaker. I ain't taking nothing away from him. He won. He probably on my personal top 50, or whatever. But when you said I'm going off of what the fucking list say. It say most influential, impactful WWE wrestlers. I Rob Van
Yeah,
Dam.
but don't forget you are comparing it to your own personal list. That's how we're critiquing it. Do you feel he should be on a top 50 list? You just
Oh,
said he
he's on
does.
mine. But
Exactly. So
if we
that's
saying
what it is.
WWE, if we saying WWE, I I just don't. If I say Vader, I think WCW. If I say Rob Van Dam, I think ECW. I don't
I think of
really.
everything.
Yeah, I'm all
Why?
in, and I think Rob
Yeah,
deserves to be there.
yeah. He has one of the best frog splash in the business, and like he didn't have no terrible matches. He didn't have no terrible storylines. It's just
I'm not saying it for him being bad or subpar mediocre. He's fucking amazing. I'm saying it based off of what the fuck they named the list. Now, if they call this motherfucker the top 50 superstars of all time, well then yeah, he damn sure should be on the fucking list. But like, if we saying WWE superstars of all time, Rob Van Dam is not the first name I'm gonna think of.
I am, in the high 30s. Yeah, Rob Van Dam, just his work in WWE. Yeah, hell yeah. What you tripping?
I
I don't
no.
see anybody making a list without putting RVD on there. Honestly,
Nope.
6-time Intercontinental
Uh,
Champion, 3-time Tag Team Champion, European Champion. You know, the European Championship not even around anymore. So
it
he,
ain't. Yeah, it's
and
defunct.
then you got to remember ECW invaded WWE back like in what 96, 94.
No, fool. That was like 2000.
No, they had another invasion before then.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That was like
Yeah,
90, 96, something like.
Look, if
But
you
man,
gonna put
you
this
talking about a dude who in ECW was like when he had that 2 year run as television champ. Man, I couldn't miss an RVD match. This dude was box office in ECW.
yeah, but
There was
in
some matches I
ECW he
seen him.
wasn't really facing nobody. It wasn't until he got to WWE and we got to see better matches because he was facing known
The
people.
matches he had
right.
with Sabu.
That's Sabu. What happened to Sabu?
Sabu. I mean, he retired after
Exactly.
ECW.
Sabu wasn't nobody. Sabu was
What?
good. ECW wise, Sabu was good. He didn't do nothing nowhere else. RVD got a chance to move up and face real talent, real people that had real names. Don't get me wrong, ECW was great, but it was great during ECW. RVD extended above that. That alone puts him on the list.
Yeah, and he was able to transition so easily to WWE style from that hardcore style.
He didn't. He wasn't just wrestling no hardcore style though. He was unorthodox there too.
You
Nobody really.
unorthodox. What's the next person? Because you unorthodox. What you
Owen
talking
Hart
about?
30. Owen Hart 38. I ain't
30,
really got a lot to say
38?
about that. It
Yeah,
seems sufficient.
38.
Yeah, yeah. The next couple I'm pretty good with.
I'm
The
happy
third
that he's on
I
the
will
list.
say the thirties they got fairly right. I didn't have a problem too much with 39 through I think 30. I think that was pretty good. So 38 was Owen Hart, 37 was Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Uh I still think, if Mr. Perfect wasn't even world champion and neither was Owen Hart. If you gonna put them over a world champion, like I just feel like AJ Styles in the 40s is kind of a problem. But
Yeah.
if I had to match Mr. Perfect and AJ Styles, I'd probably pick AJ Styles. Although I love me some Mr. Perfect. That Perfect Plex was on point. But I'm
Yeah,
okay with this. 37, 36, Batista. I'm not too mad about that. That seems about right for him. Um 35 was Ultimate Warrior. Again, I'm not a big fan, but for his time period, what he did, how big he was, and the charisma and the promos and all that shit, I'm not mad about that. That makes sense to me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like
Uh,
it.
34, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Love me some Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Not mad about that. Great, one of the greatest
Mhm.
WrestleMania matches of all time at WrestleMania 3. Booker T, not mad about that. I think he
King
deserves it.
Booker.
Yeah, Harlem Heat, King Booker, 5-time WCW champion. That whole, not mad about that. And 32, Jake the Snake Roberts, not mad
Yeah.
about that.
Yep.
That
legendary
30,
character.
31, Kane.
Yeah.
That's about
That's
right
good.
to me. I think
Yeah,
maybe he could have been a tad higher. He kind of middle of the road. I think
when he took
that's
off the mask, that diminished him.
yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Raising Ramon at 30. Good with that. Fucking, I think WrestleMania 9 ladder match, the bad guy persona, Razor Ramon was solid. I ain't got no problem. The 30s were fine. I had no issue with probably anybody in the 30s. None.
Mhm.
That was kind of pretty. That's what they got right. They did that well. Now, depending on your preference and how you think and how you feel, you might say, well, nah, this guy should be 30, this guy should be 35, this guy should be 37. But overall, all of them guys, I'm good with. 29, Trish Stratus. I personally think she should be higher, but I think this
Yeah.
is a good number for her.
I also feel she should be a little bit higher. She should be in the 20s, just
Mhm.
not so low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
I'm okay with it.
She
Huh?
definitely shouldn't be under the next person.
What? Yes, you should.
I don't think
over
so.
Let's
under
just go to the
China.
next
China
person.
at 28. That China at 28 over Trish
Now,
Stratus.
you think China should be 29, and then you think they should swap roles?
I don't
Yeah,
think China. I think
I
China should
think
be in the
Trish should be
40s.
higher. Well, no, I think China is right where she at
You
because
nah
Impact.
bullshit.
We're talking
Take
Impact,
oh man, come on man.
bro. She is synonymous with the women's division. When you talk about powerhouse, the first person that comes to your mind is China.
I was gonna
Hmm.
say Jazz.
Hell
See,
no,
a lot of
Jazz
people don't
wasn't
even
doing
remember
what China
that.
was doing. You tripping?
China
You
was
said
whooping the men, and
you
you were
said
believing it.
or Beth Phoenix. When you say power,
No,
like Beth Phoenix was
no,
ragdolling people,
no. None of them had more power than China. What are you talking about?
bruh.
You
But she
talking you
was
talking
by
about Jazz? Jazz
she
walking
was
around looking like a lizard. You
she
tripping?
she was about as charismatic as watching paint dry. I
Who?
don't
Ooh,
China.
You
no
Bruh,
you
way,
tripping again?
bro. She had a lot of
man, nah,
charisma.
y'all
Bro,
y'all.
China had an impact without even saying anything, bro. Like the whole time she was in DX, she just sat there with her arms crossed, and
She
we was
was a
like, "Yo, she
valet.
bro, you
Bro, you
tripping?"
cannot be in DX and not have charisma. She had plenty of charisma,
Man, she
especially
was
when
a
she
she
So
she
you
fresh
was
on
gonna
her
a
own.
you gonna tell me you didn't like the feud between her and Chris Jericho where she smashed your buddy's thumb with a hammer? You
nah.
tripping?
She was a good heater as far as standing around holding the title and hitting men with clotheslines and stuff like that. Great with that.
Them low
That's what.
blows.
Yeah, that all of that was great. But we talking about her outside of that scope too. Like I don't get how y'all think she better than Trish Stratus. That's what I'm arguing
How
about.
do you not get
I
that?
said I'm putting Trish Stratus over her. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
I'm not
about
putting Trish Stratus over her.
wait a minute. What about Oscar over her?
Nah,
No.
I wouldn't put Oscar over her either.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go down the
Surprisingly,
list.
I'd put Oscar right after Trish Stratus.
I'm gonna go down the list. Trish Stratus at
Oh,
29, China at 28, Charlotte at 27. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
As long as she not below anybody that I feel is worse.
If you gonna do three women in a row, Trish should have been 27, Charlotte 28, and then y'all's
But
pick at
I mean,
29.
I
I
do
know
kind of have
you
a
fucking
problem.
lying.
I do have a problem because, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
What?
I know you fucking lying.
Because of who
About
they
what?
got above Charlotte later in the list for the women.
Seth Rollins at 26.
Okay.
I guess I couldn't say too much about that.
I can't complain because
Nah, I can't say nothing about that. Edge at 25. That seems like a pretty good number for him.
Yeah.
Um, Now this about to piss me off.
yeah, this is way too low.
Ric Flair Ric Flair at 24. Now, you mean to tell me? First of all, Ric Flair should be in when you say top 5 wrestlers of all time. Ric Flair should be one of the first names you call in any order. The top 5 wrestlers that ever lived, in my personal opinion: Stone Cold, The Rock, Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair, goddamn, Hulk Hogan, and Shawn Michaels. Maybe Undertaker, depending on who you talking to. I'm
Hulk
partial to
Hogan not in my top 5.
I'm partial
Fuck
to
him.
Macho Man. I think Macho Man was better than Hogan. I probably would switch them out.
Absolutely.
Those are my 5.
I agree with that take.
Every fucking time. No matter who you ask, who the Top 5 wrestlers of all time, you normally gonna get in whatever order. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Ric Flair, and probably either Macho Man, Undertaker, Hogan. Them one of them names gonna come up. It depends on who you ask. How the fuck is this man 24?
No clue. His shit should
Yeah,
be single digit for sure.
for real. He's like the blueprint on everything wrestling. How to talk, how to be a heel, how to work.
He
Like
was
dude
only in
did.
WWE for like 2 or 3 years, I think, but he still was world champion while he was there. He had that feud with I think he had that feud with Macho Man and stuff. I think Miss Elizabeth was involved in everything or whatever, and I think Macho Man took the title off of him at Mania, and then Flair went back to WCW. But he was also did the thing with Mr. Perfect at one point in time. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck he's 24.
Especially when
Then
he
he
came
came
back
back and he did
at that old
Evolution.
age. Yeah, yeah, that was great.
That match he had with Shawn Michaels at the end at WrestleMania
Classic,
after he made the Hall of Fame.
classic.
How's he 24?
No
They,
clue.
they, it's
And
clickbait.
what makes it even worse is the person they got above him. Are you
We
kidding?
actually gonna. I'm gonna take the time for a change to actually read the summary. This might be the after a long and fruitful run with the NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, and WCW. Ric Flair arrived on the scene in WWE in late 1991 as the real world's champion and immediately contested Hulk Hogan's claim to being the top dog in the industry. The Nature Boy was widely considered to be the best wrestler on the planet. So you mean to tell me that everybody but y'all thought he was the best wrestler in the world and you made him 24? And he wasted little time proving it, including an unforgettable appearance in the 1992 Royal Rumble, in which he entered at number 3 and went on to win his first of 2 WWE championships. Excellent rivalry with Macho Man Randy Savage, in which he made scandalous accusations about Miss Elizabeth, culminated in a high intensity WrestleMania 8 Showdown house show contest with Hulk Hogan. The dream match fans were not privy to at the Showcase of the Immortals further defined his run with the promotion. After just over 1 year of competing for the company, so he was only there for about a year. Flair departed amid a youth movement in WWE and returned to WCW, where he would stay until that organization's demise in '01. Chapter 2 of Flair in WWE saw him arrive a broken man, confidence shattered by experience of his final run in WCW, until Triple H reminded him of who he was and convinced Nate to form Evolution. Flair and the game took Randy Orton and Batista under their wing, taught them all they knew about the industry. Like, how the hell is he 24?
That's why I said it's clickbait. Some of this stuff on this list is just for them to get clicks on
And
their
then this is
website.
just borderline disrespectful. So number 23, right after one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, we put fucking Becky Lynch.
She shouldn't even be above Charlotte.
Shouldn't be
That's my
above
opinion.
Trish.
This
I just don't see
matter
that.
of fact, get this whole off the list.
Oh, now you tripping. She the first woman and only woman to main event WrestleMania. Like I can't
Oh,
take that from her.
hold on. She wasn't the only one. What do you mean?
Well, I'm
So
saying
wait, didn't Sasha and what's her girl name? Bianca main event WrestleMania?
no.
No. They had the Sasha. No, well, gotta be saying Sasha. Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey. They were the first women to headline to main event
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
But
That
without
triple threat
Becky, you
match.
never would have main evented that.
That's true. I think she's a Grand Slam champion too, which she got the honors. But you're not better than Charlotte and Trish.
Nope.
Hell
Respectfully.
no.
Nope.
Her ass
Respectfully.
belong in the
Nope.
40s.
I probably would put her low 20s or maybe high 30s, but not above no fucking Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair, and damn sure not above no Nature Boy Ric Flair. Anybody after Ric Flair from this point forward until you get to the finals is probably blasphemy. Like Daniel Bryan over Ric Flair at 22 is fucking blasphemy. That's a joke. I love some Daniel Bryan, but he'll tell you he ain't better than no fucking Ric Flair was.
Especially with the people who are left on this list, majority of them learn from Ric Flair.
Triple H,
Like,
Triple H at 21 is too low. He should be in the teams for his
yeah,
contributions to the business. And
Yeah.
Triple H was the best heel in wrestling for several years twice. Once with
Yeah.
once during the McMahon Helmsley regime, once during the fucking Evolution era, or during the Ruthless Aggression era or whatever.
Right around this
That
time, this picture is taken right here.
yeah, like that there's no fucking way he like too this is too high. I mean too low. He should definitely be maybe sub teens. Triple H is like a borderline top 10
He's
depending on
top
who you
10 to me.
talking to. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's no fucking way he should be 21. And he will tell you himself there's no fucking way he should be all over Ric Flair. He'll tell you that himself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
CM Punk at 20 over Ric Flair, you a lie.
Well, I like where he's at. Over Ric Flair, of course, no. But as far as everybody else on there, I like where he's at.
Oh no, this about
Actually,
right.
not over Triple H too, but with the exception of Ric Flair and Triple H, I like where he's at. 20 is a good spot for him.
Number
Agreed.
19, Randy Orton, not over no fucking Ric Flair, and he'll tell you that himself. Not
Not
over no
over no
Triple
fucking
Not over
H.
CM
Triple
Punk
H.
either.
Yeah, no, hell no, not over no CM Punk. Not over no Edge. Randy Orton don't ring the bell for me like that.
He
I'm
said not
sorry,
over no
he just
Edge.
don't. No, hell no. You crazy as hell. Nope, this too high. This is way
Yeah,
too fucking high.
yeah, it should have been lower for sure.
Eddie Guerrero,
Too low
I'm
to
okay.
me.
I'm
He's too
okay.
low to me.
I'm okay with it, but I'm gonna keep saying this the rest of the fucking list. It's not over no Ric Flair, and probably not over no Triple H either, and
Yeah,
maybe not over CM Punk. But Eddie Guerrero should be in the team.
yeah, he should be in the teams. I like where he's at. Compared to the other ones, I like where he's at.
This is fucking surprising. 17 is Brock Lesnar. I feel like that's low.
I feel that's too high.
You do?
Yeah.
I like where he's at.
Nah, I feel like
Brock's the
Eddie,
youngest.
Randy should be
Brock's the
above
youngest.
him.
But Brock's the youngest world champion in WWE history. Hard stop. Nobody
But who thinks about that when
ever.
they hear Brock Lesnar? They only think
But
about
but
the recent years.
but nah. I'm also quoting like Brock Lesnar was the face of WWE at one point in time for several years. They had him beating everybody. I mean, just running through motherfuckers. I'm not talking about old Brock. I'm talking about Brock in like the early 2000s before he left the first time. And then the whole WrestleMania 19 match with Kurt Angle was a fucking classic or
He almost
whatever.
killed himself in that match.
He did, but that was a fucking classic. And
Mhm.
I mean, man, Brock was on a different level though. I feel like that's a little low. Brock came in being world champion. I don't think he didn't ever held any other title.
Yeah.
No, I just wouldn't put him above Eddie Guerrero or Randy Orton for that matter.
Yeah.
They're way more skilled, way more athletic,
I'd
more
put him
entertaining
around.
matches.
I'd put him around the same area on the
He
list,
ain't
but
no
I
talker,
like
so
where
I
he's at.
guess he can't be high. But I think you're probably right. You probably need to put him in the
I'm
middle.
just like Jacory. I don't have no problem where he on the list. I just wouldn't put him above Eddie Guerrero, Randy
I
Orton.
want you. He ain't better than no fucking Ric Flair either.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
that's
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna say this
that's
every
gonna be
fucking
your
time
main.
until I find. Yeah, this my. Yep, Chris Jericho at 16. First of all, why Y2J was fucking legendary. Okay,
Yeah, I honestly feel Y2J should be close to single digit, or if not a single digit, like 9 or some shit.
9.
Yeah, like 9 or 10, because he's the only guy I know that recreated himself like 50 fucking times, and every single one of them got over. Every single one of them.
He's
He could
another
Every
talk his
Grand
single
ass.
one
Slam
of them,
champion.
every
He
single
could
one of them, he
talk
was a
his ass
champion.
off too. He could talk his ass off too. It ain't too many motherfuckers that could talk.
Oh yeah.
Jericho one of the few people that could talk and go tit for tat with the Rock. Like that.
Yep.
He could talk his ass off. I his wrestling was good too. Jericho was a total package guy. I didn't really have too many
Exactly.
issues with him. But you know what? He ain't better than no fucking Ric Flair.
He's
he
not
he better than the next two people that's
I'd put
He
Rick top 5, but Jericho is definitely top 10.
you might can make a case he's
Jericho
slightly
definitely
better.
closer to the top 10 for me.
You might can make a case he's slightly better than a fucking Triple H, but he ain't better than Ric Flair.
That's correct.
He a hard one to to even try to, depreciate on the list. Like you got to really get his credentials right.
Mick
Because
Foley
he
at
did a lot.
15. That
Not
that
above
that
Chris
seems
Jericho.
that seems what?
I like where he at. I
I
like
was
where
finna
he
say
at.
this seemed about right to me.
He
And
good. I'm good where he at, but Chris Jericho's better.
yeah, Chris Jericho is better. Like I said, Chris Jericho should be top 10. But if Jericho was in the top 10, Mick Foley is good where he's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andre the Giant at 14. I'm not real well versed on this. This
Andre the Giant ass should have been in like the
Andre,
30s.
I I don't know. I ain't never really. Only big thing I've seen Andre the Giant do was the whole when he choked Bobby the Brain Heenan, and then he did the match with Hogan at WrestleMania. I think it was 3 when Hogan body slammed him into place, went crazy and shit. I don't know a lot about him. I feel like he was a pretty influential figure, but I mean Andre got over everywhere he
He was
went.
I mean,
only
that's all
influential
he got.
because of how tall he was. But as far as
Took the words out of
wrestling,
my mouth.
I don't know about it. His wrestling ability, I don't know. He'd have to be up in the.
It
I'll put him in
was.
the 30s. I wouldn't put
Now
I've
him in the
seen.
40s, but I
Yeah,
put him in the 30s.
I've
it,
seen some of his stuff. He's not better than Big Show. I'm
No, he
saying
ain't.
he
well
not better
that's
than Big Show.
that was a different time, man. They wasn't
It
doing
was.
shit like yeah. You gotta kind of equate it to the time period. He was larger than life for his time, but like they wasn't doing shit like what Big Show was doing at his size in that day and age. Nobody knew what the fuck that was. They didn't have that kind of athleticism.
Yeah, he didn't.
Um,
He wasn't required to even do
now
anything like
this
that, but
shit,
stand there.
this shit here is blasphemous. So 13, you gonna put Roman Reigns above Ric Flair? That's what we doing.
Yeah. I'm okay where he's at on the
Yeah,
list. Not above some people that he's above, but I'm okay with 13.
my sentiments exactly.
Y'all go ahead and be okay with that. The fucking trash.
Well, of course, not above Ric Flair, but where he's at. If
Yeah,
Ric Flair was where
that
he was
Now,
goes.
supposed to be, I'm okay with
I,
him being 13.
now
Exactly.
I don't know how to I don't know how to feel about this one. They put Rey Mysterio at 12. Now I've loved Rey Mysterio since he was a cruiserweight WCW. But
I'm
if
okay
you
with
gonna
it.
sit here and over Ric Flair and Triple H and CM Punk and
No,
Edge,
of course not. I'm okay
Well,
with where he's at. We can't move the
yeah,
others
we.
around. So I'm okay where he's at. If shit was the way we wanted it, I'd put him at 12. Of course, I'd put some people above him, but I'd put him there at 12. I
Yeah,
don't know why I got. I don't know why I got to keep saying that, ho.
definitely with Rey Mysterio as a short guy his size, the things that the way he was able to have great matches with guys that was 6'10", 6'5", 6'8", 300 pounds, 250 pounds, and still
yeah,
hold his
with a
own and
bunch
make it
of leg
believable.
kicks.
Yeah, but that if you shorter than somebody, you're gonna take out their legs first. So it's great psychology when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Again,
used his speed.
I ain't got nothing against no Rey Mysterio.
I'm cool with this.
I've been a fan since he was a cruiserweight. When he got thrown into that damn trailer by Kevin Nash.
That was funny, but that was messed up at the same time.
Kurt Angle at 11. I think he
I'm
should
o-
be a little higher than that, but I'm okay with
uh,
it.
I'm okay with
The
11 because
same way that you,
if he's a little
the
higher,
same way you
then
talk about
ain't no
Jericho,
room for the other ones.
the same way you
That's
talk
true.
about Jericho, I feel that way about Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was strong as fuck. He could talk. He even like he wouldn't he Kurt was a complete wrestler. I mean, he could do everything.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah.
Nah,
And
he
then again, the reason he's there at that spot on the list is because most of his best work was in TNA, not WWE. When he was
no,
Hell
that ain't
no,
true. No, hell
no,
no.
hell
He
no.
no,
had
I'm
some
saying
great
I'm
He had
saying
matches
some
he
in
good stuff.
did
WWE.
good stuff in WWE, but I'm saying like he spent a lot of his career in TNA, so that's probably why they got him
I would
right
say they
here.
about 50-50.
Uh, about 5 years in WWE, and then TNA he had more time,
But
but
look at what the fuck he did in that 5 years. You got to remember
oh,
when Kurt
absolutely,
Angle
he did.
first came on the
I don't
scene,
have no problem
he
where he
was
is on the list.
European and Intercontinental Champion at the same time. And he was having matches with Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, people like that. Man, he was tearing the house down.
He wrestled everybody that
When he
was
picked the
big in
fucking
that
Big
Attitude
Show
Era.
up in the limb, man, Kurt Angle was a monster.
You know, the crazy thing is, I'd put Chris Benoit on this list. Of course, they're not going
I
to,
was
but
going to
I
talk
would
about
have
it
put him
later,
on this
but
list.
it's not PC to list him. But he listen, the man as what he did at the end of his life was fucked up. And I don't take that away from that. You own that. That was
Exactly.
fucked
But
up.
what he did in
But
wrestling was amazing.
if we just talking from a purely wrestling context, there ain't too many people, if you can get them to admit to it, that wrestled him or with him, that was like he ain't one of the best they ever seen. He could do everything perfect.
Hmm.
Everything.
It was a lot of them that wasn't fucking with Chris Benoit. He was a beast.
Nah, yeah,
Dude was a beast, bruh.
you not ain't him and Jericho had great matches. Him and Kurt Angle had great matches or whatever. He was a technician. Yeah, if we just talking about just body of work in wrestling, fuck everything else. If we just talking about wrestling, there ain't too many. Him and Eddie Guerrero had tear down matches. It
Hmm.
just yeah, they not gonna put him on their
I would
list though.
say him and Kurt Angle had something rare where with their submissions, it was like you couldn't really see people getting out of there.
It looked real.
Him and Kurt Angle
Yeah,
had some good ass matches too.
they
Man,
did.
you want
They
you want to
did.
you want to see a wrestling clinic, look at one of their matches. Or him and Eddie Guerrero. Him and Eddie Guerrero had chemistry. You could
So much chemistry.
everywhere they wrestle, WCW, ECW, WWE, they tore the
Japan.
house down everywhere. New Japan tore the house down everywhere. They were phenomenal. And Eddie Guerrero will tell you that's one of the best people he's ever wrestled with. But that nobody's ever going. He'll never be a Hall of Famer. He'll never be on anybody's list. Most people don't even want to talk about him because of what happened, and I mean that is fucked up. Like you got to be he
Yeah,
was that was sadistic what happened, but I mean
yeah. That's Chris Benoit, the
outside the
person, but
scope of
Chris
that,
Benoit,
yeah,
the wrestler,
the wrestler, yeah,
the,
exactly.
yeah, head and shoulders, like, yeah.
Uh, uh, 10, Hulk Hogan.
I'm cool
I
with that.
was I was surprised he was that low, but yeah, I'm
Man,
straight.
look, I know Hulk Hogan did a lot for the WWE or WWF at the time or whatever the hell he was doing a lot for, but I take that nigga completely off the list. I can't
I would
have no
too.
nigga in my look. I can't have no nigga in my top 10 that don't like niggas.
Why you?
You can't be in my top
Why
10,
why
bro.
they got to be what that's about?
Cause he can't be in my top 10. You know, I'm tired of him anyways.
But the surprising what's surprising is they put Roddy Piper at 9 over him. Roddy Piper never even won a world title. Like he
but
was never world
but that
champion.
He
dude
did,
was
but
so good,
he didn't
bro.
need to.
He
Roddy
didn't need
Piper
it.
is
And I
Roddy
was just
Piper
gonna
though,
say
my
that he
boy.
Yeah.
didn't need it. Yeah, he didn't need it. But I was really surprised that they put him over Hogan. Yet most people don't give Roddy that kind of credit. You got to be a real wrestling purist a lot of times to
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate what the fuck he brought to that. I mean, but man, he had even without being champion, he had like some memorable moments when they did the little Bronco chase at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was Roddy Piper. Then he wrestled Mr. T at WrestleMania. Like I think they actually had people believing they couldn't stand each other. Like he was so controversial when he smashed that coconut over Jimmy Snooker's head on Piper's Pit. That shit was like he had a lot of iconic moments
Yeah,
throughout the
just his
years or
promos
whatever.
alone,
So
man. His fucking
he
promo. He
could
was a
talk his
promo
ass.
god.
Yeah, he could talk his ass off.
Yep.
No, 9. I was surprised at that. That was probably my more surprising, one of the more surprising rankings they had. Number 8, Shawn Michaels. That's way too motherfucking low.
Way too low.
That's
Yeah. It should have
way
been.
too. You
It should
got
have
to
been
be
top
fucking
5 for
crazy.
sure. It should have
You
been top 5
top
for sure.
Shawn,
3.
Shawn Michaels is my number one.
He should have been 3, or he
Oh,
should have been
it's,
top 3 or 4. Like there's no fucking way he's 8. Like what?
Especially not the people they got above him. No.
oh my gosh. Getting into that.
Number 7 was The Rock. That's way too fucking low.
Yeah.
That's way too low. He should be top 2, top 3. That's way too fucking low.
Not
I
over
can't.
Shawn Michaels though.
The Rock to me is more. The Rock is better than Shawn Michaels to me.
You
Oh,
out your
I don't
damn.
agree with that.
You
I
out your
think it's
I don't
Stone.
mind.
agree with that.
I think it's Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels. That's
Nah.
usually
For
my.
it'll look. It'll be Bruno, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. and Rock can be somewhere up top.
Why the hell would you put? Wait a minute. So your best wrestler of all time on your personal list is Bruno San
Bruno San,
Martino?
do you not know about Bruno San Martino, bro?
I know who he is and what he is, but how many matches have you seen of Bruno San Martino? Because he wrestled in the '60s. So that
I
for
see it,
unless
bro. The WWE Network, my boy, and they got Peacock now. If you want to look back,
no, wait a minute. So you went and watched Bruno San Martino
I
matches.
sure did because I had to
How
see
many
why.
have you seen?
I had to see why Buddy had the title for so damn long. I had to see
How
what it
many
was all
how,
about.
how many have you seen?
I think about five of them. A nigga
So
had to
in
go to
five
bed.
That's enough
matches,
to get a good gauge of it, I
That's
think.
good enough to get a good little diddly do. You know what I'm
so
saying?
you
Those things are
so
hard, those matches are hard to sit through.
so it only
They
took
are
you
hard to
five
sit through.
matches. It only took your ass 5 matches to say this is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Bruno San Martino, he is the greatest wrestler of all time. He held the title longer than anybody in history.
But we ain't just talking about championships though. We talking about championships, charisma, mic skills, needle movement.
Well, fella, why do
That's
you
what the
think he held the
criteria
title
is.
for so long? Wasn't nobody better than him?
Man, that ain't okay.
And
So
this is during a time when they had some heavy hitters other than him.
Bruno San Martino is for his time period and stuff. He was for his time period. He was great. I know I've listened to some of his shoot interviews and stuff. I'm not taking nothing away from him. But when we talking about a wrestler, when I say the greatest wrestler of all time, I'm talking about a motherfucker who is iconic, did more for the business of wrestling than any. There was no golden age when
Nigga, that
Bruno
would be
San Martino
Bruno.
was.
That
There
would
was
be Bruno, bro. He
the
pretty much put wrestling on the map,
golden
bro.
age.
What are you talking about?
What Keith and what? Keith, and what's the golden age of wrestling? No, no, that's not true. Actually, it was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, Bruno San Martino, Simon Gotch, Lou Thez. It wasn't just no
Bob
Bruno
Backlund.
by himself. Yeah, Bob Backlund came after Bruno, I think in the '80s or night. Like he had to be in the '70s or '80s if I'm not mistaken. Bruno wrestled in the '60s and '50s with the rest of these names I'm calling.
Mm.
So it wasn't just him. But what is the golden age of wrestling?
A lot of people,
Attitude Era,
attitude era, yeah.
Who was the best? Who was the best wrestler during that time period?
Stone Cold Steve
Stone Cold
Austin.
Steve Austin is the
That's
most
the best
popular.
fucking wrestler of all time.
Get the
Ask every
I wouldn't say he's the best of all time,
if
but
you
he's
ask
one of the
every
best.
if
He's
no
one
hell
of the
no.
best. He is
If
one
you
of the
He's one
best.
of the best.
if you ask every wrestler today, damn near past the present, who did more for the business of wrestling than anybody in modern history, that man's name is called first.
Bruno
Ric
San
Flair,
Martino.
no, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Man, get the
motherfucker.
fuck out. Yeah,
I
get the
don't
fuck
even
That,
out.
think they. I don't even think they name a wrestler. I think they name a promoter, and they're gonna say Vince McMahon.
you can't say that no
Yeah, like,
more.
you can't say that no more. But when they say best wrestler of all time, Stone Cold is rarely brought up as people's favorite, which is weird. But he's
That
barely
ain't
he.
true.
That is true. A lot of people don't say Stone Cold is their favorite. They'll say Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Those are like the main two that they say.
My favorite wrestler is the motherfucking Rock. Well, it was to this final boss business, but I'm just
Ain't
taking
nothing
it a
wrong
little
with that. He
personal right
killing
now. I'm just taking it a little personal right
it.
now to hear a bad guy. But my favorite wrestler is The Rock. But I, I'm not even talking about my favorite. I said, who is the most just if we talking about a wrestler that just took the business to heights it'll never get to again, that is an icon in this industry and this business and paved the way for any and everything at any point in period in
Bruno
time,
San Martino. Yes,
it's
yes,
Stone
correct.
Cold Steve motherfucking
No, no,
Austin.
no, 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 no. Bruno San
I
Martino.
think that depends on the time period you were born in too. For
This
some people,
motherfucker wasn't born in the
but
60s.
some people are historians. Some people historians. Some
No,
people actually do.
Jacory want to be a rebel. He just doing this shit
Why
because
I
it
gotta be
sounds
a
cool.
rebel? It's
He
known
he
that
doing this
Bruno
shit
San
because it sounds
Martino
This
cool.
is
this the
the
real
greatest
question
wrestler
though.
of all time. Man, I'm not the only one who knows this.
Nah,
Even the wrestlers
he
say he
doing this
he
shit because it
paved the way
sounds
for
cool.
wrestling. Period. What are you talking about? We had boy.
Nobody nobody taking nothing away from him. I am not saying he's not good. Again, I've listened to some of his interviews, and it wasn't just him. It was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. It was Lou Thez. It was Simon Gotch. It was all of them dudes during that time period. It ain't just Bruno San Martino, superstar Billy Graham.
And Pat
Like
Patterson at that time too.
yeah, it ain't just him. Now he was good for his time. He was the Stone Cold of his time, but he wasn't putting asses in seats and selling out arenas like that.
Well, he pretty much owned Madison Square Garden under the
Yeah,
Yeah, but they
under
it was
and the
Vince
dude was the
territories
Senior.
at that
champion
time.
of not just a regular world, bro. He was the champion of the whole fucking thing. Dude was traveling around, and wherever he went, he was champion.
No,
Stone
he
Cold was
wasn't.
WWE champion. What are you talking about?
He,
What are you talking about?
he was the
Dude, he
equivalent
was
of
in
what Stone Cold was to the Attitude
WWWF.
Era.
Everywhere
Like
he went, he was champion.
he only wrestled in WWWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, in
The
Madison
world,
Square
the
Garden.
world knew him as the champion, my boy.
First of all, again, you ain't watched enough. You just because you saw a few little matches, no, he's doing this shit to be cute. You about to piss me off. He's doing this shit to be cute.
This is the real
You know
question, though, Sherrod. Is he better
what?
than Ric Flair?
Oh,
Bruno. Does
I
he
don't
deserve
know.
to be higher than Ric Flair?
I no, I don't believe so. I don't. I listen. Maybe I never really. I'm not finna sit here and bullshit with you. I ain't finna bullshit with the audience. I ain't never seen a Bruno San Martino match. Okay. Now, I do know that I have listened to him talk and I've heard commentary on him. For his time period, he was a legend and one of the best wrestlers in the world. But when you get to talk about most influential wrestlers, ain't nobody out here making Bruno San Martino references or Bruno San Martino catchphrases or poses or none of that shit. Everybody do that shit with The Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and Ric
But
Flair.
but instead, this motherfuckers out here trying to
They
still to
trans
this
it.
day
They
trying to catch up to his
transcended
stats.
they
It,
transcended rest they transcended just wrestling. They were cultural icons. Ric
you got to
Flair
remember,
inspired a
it's
whole
people like
genre of music. That is
Roman Reigns is still trying to catch this man's stats, and he ain't even close. Are you
first of
kidding
all,
me?
so let me just drop a little, let me crack open your brain, the cranium, and fertilize your brain real quick, okay? The reason that nobody will ever do that again is because the way that wrestling was set up back then, it was there was no real, oh, what are we gonna do with so and so? They put the belt on whoever they thought could draw money. He drew money for his time. He was a draw. That's why you'll never see that again, because there wasn't nobody waiting in line like, okay, we're gonna get a belt to Bruno for like 6 months, and then we'll drop it off to Jacory in 6 months, and then maybe we'll hand it to Keithan in a year, and then we're gonna do a program between Keithan and Sherrod like, you the following year. And they didn't have that. You had guys that were gonna put asses in seats, and he was one of them. He had a lot of matches with other people that put asses in seats. Wrestling during that time was about drawing money. Now, while it was about drawing money during the modern era, you had a lot more people that could get over. That's why you'll never see that again. That was a different time period. So you
Well,
can't
you know
compare the
what?
two.
Once again, we'll just agree to disagree. What's the next person? What's his name?
John Cena.
No, no. Because we're on number 6 now. What's his name?
The seven was the Rock. I said
Uh
that's
huh.
too low.
No, 6 is Bruno.
We already talked about that.
What's his name?
Oh, number six.
Yeah, what's his
Yeah,
name?
Bruno San Martino.
That's his
Like,
name.
I'm okay with him being at six. I just don't think he should be over no Rock and Shawn Michaels.
You say so. Who's number 5, my dog?
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena. Wee. Yeah, I like Wade.
What?
Number 5's good for him.
They put him in number 5 because that's the number of moves he do in the match. The 5 moves are there.
Over Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, The Rock.
Well, obviously they would be before him. That's why I said number 5.
Wait a minute. So you will put it. Okay, so I don't want to get it. We're gonna come back to that. Remember what you just said. I want to finish this list before I give you the rebuttal to that. Let's finish the list. Number 4, Undertaker. I'm okay with that.
I'm great with that.
I think that I'm good with that. I think that's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
Number 3,
Oh, yeah.
Macho Man. I'm great. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Real
good.
good. Oh yeah. I'm good. I'm good with that. Number 2.
I'm not good with number 3 though, because if you put him at number 3, how you gonna put one of the others we picked at number 3?
We talking about the
Which
list
means
right
Macho
now.
Man would have to be higher.
Well, see, he wouldn't be in that position if they ain't put some bullshit before anyway.
Right,
For
Exactly.
some of these
exactly.
people.
He, in my opinion, he would be 4 or 5 on my list.
That's why this list is
But
bullshit.
yeah,
He'd be
it's
about number
bullshit.
6 for me. 6, 7.
At number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
I like
which
where he
at
at.
the at no hell no man. No, and then number 1 is Bret Hitman Hart. Now I got a whole lot of respect for Bret Hart. Bret Hart is a top 10, top 15 guy for me. He ain't top 5.
Yeah, I feel the same.
He ain't top 5. I don't know how you came to this conclusion. Over Stone Cold. Bret Hart knew this Bret Hart was telling them 2 years before Stone Cold was over. Like y'all, this dude is something, and you put him over Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, for Bret Hart, that's one of my favorite pro wrestlers growing up. So I wouldn't have put him at number one. I already told you my number one was Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
I
I
He's
wouldn't have
higher
put
than I
Brett over
thought.
Sean.
I
I
can
wouldn't have put Brett
concede
over Sean.
I can concede that, but I want
Yeah,
to go back to what Jacory was saying. So he said that like number 5 was John Cena, and I said over the Rock, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair. And you said what?
I said I wouldn't put him over any of the other guys, but number 5 is a good spot on this list. Yeah, yeah. Of
So
course, I'm not gonna put him over the people he shouldn't be over, but number 5, if shit was moved around the way we wanted, which I've been saying this whole time, I don't know why you keep doing this.
well,
Number 5 is a good spot for him. If shit was the way it was supposed to be, number 5 or 6 is where I put him. John Cena is real influential, so either 5 or 6,
yes,
yeah.
but wait. So if we were doing our own list, you think he should be 5 or 6?
Yeah. I'd put John up there for sure. Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
okay, if he should be 5 or 6, then in no particular order, let me just call out 4 or 5 names real quick. Just no order. Forget the order. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair. You think he's supposed to be over all of them names I just called?
I'd put him over Macho Man. Yeah, John Cena is the PG god to
Keith,
these motherfucking kids and
Keithan,
teenagers out here.
I'm
Keithan.
that's Impact. I see where you're coming from. That's Impact, but taking skill into account, I probably would have if I could shuffle this list around. I probably put him eight. Probably put him
Eight
eight,
is 8 or 9 is fair.
8 or 9.
Not 5. That's too high.
No.
And
But
then when
but
you
it's
say
just the
when
thing with John Cena that turned me off. It's just the lack of moves he did. He spent most of the matches selling.
oh he got the mic
It's
skills and the
boring. He got the
charisma,
yeah.
yeah, like the
Yes,
doctor
when you
thug
get in the
But you
ring,
got to
John.
remember, Macho Man didn't have that many moves either. Old school wrestling, they wasn't doing much of shit. They were even their matches didn't go as long as the matches John Cena was in.
but
They was
Macho Man
wrestling
had
for
more back
60
and forth in his
minutes.
matches too.
Y'all tripping.
I'm
So
just
you
saying he
wouldn't
had
so you wouldn't put John Cena over Macho Man.
no. Uh-uh.
No,
So you
I
think just because
wouldn't.
this nigga got Slim Jim commercials, he belong in the top
he's
5?
a
I don't even eat
cultural
Slim
Crazy.
Jim. That's
bro.
the
He
point.
transcends wrestling. Like some of the names we
He
call him.
transcended wrestling, but I mean, so did Hulk Hogan. Y'all cool with him? That nigga being at number 10.
Because all he
Nobody
had was a
likes him.
leg drop. Hulk Hogan, I, I guess, I don't know what's the
People just
appeal of
don't
Hulk
like
Hogan.
him. Like they Hollywood Hogan, I actually liked.
I fuck with Hollywood Hogan. I fuck with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that leg drop is just terrible. And then, even just personally,
The
how he was,
politicking and
yeah, the
shit for
politic
me,
and how
yeah,
he
I can't.
just do people wrong, not want to sell for people, not
And
want to
look,
drop
and on
titles.
top of that, y'all forgetting John Cena is a 16-time champion, just like your boy
So
Ric
it's
Flair.
yeah, but that's different. Ric Flair
How is that
earned
different? There ain't no difference in that. That's the
no
same damn
no
thing.
Oh,
because
yeah, I want to hear this debate.
Rick nobody was shoving Ric Flair down people's throats. He just was the best at what he did. John
Uh-huh.
Cena after a certain point. Now John Cena at his first couple title runs when he was the doctor of thugonomics and stuff, he was over. That like people love the fact that's what they like.
He's over now, my dog, and he ain't even wrestling no more.
Is he world champion? That ain't what I'm saying. I said during the time that he was being world champion or whatever, after maybe them first couple runs, he was being shoved down people's throats.
Okay.
Keith,
All of them was being shoved down. Anyone they want to be on
nah,
top of the Rock was
eh,
shoved down our throats.
when,
Hulk Hogan was shoved down our
when,
throats.
no, now yes, him, but when on the Rock,
At the beginning of his career,
when
The
on
Rock was
Stone
shoved. The
Cold.
Rock was
The-
shoved down our
Oh
throats at
no,
the
because
no,
of the
no.
beginning.
family
We're
he
not
came
talking about.
from,
We ain't talking
he
about.
was
We ain't
shoved
talking
down the
about.
throat.
We not talking about the Rocky Maivia thing. We said it's world champion.
That's
We talking
still the
about
Rock, my
strictly as
boy. What are
world
you
champion.
talking about?
He wasn't a world champion as Rocky Maivia.
But
No, he was
you
Intercontinental
can't you
Champion
can't
at
just
that
cut
time, though.
pieces off of a nigga's legacy just to make prove your point, my boy.
No,
What are you
you
talking about?
said he's a 16-time world champion. So
That is
talking about
correct.
so talking about world championships, John Cena was shoved down people's throat as champion. Same way Roman Reigns was shoved down people's
He
throat
was. He
as
was.
world champion. Like
Mm,
now, when was The Rock as world champion? Because I think he only been champion about 4 or 5 times. When was he shoved down your throat?
pretty much all the time, because at the time they didn't have too many big players. They had Stone Cold, they had The Rock, they had Triple H. Those three was shoved down our throats. Them motherfuckers was always on TV.
Keith.
That's why I believe Triple H should be high on the list because he carried that Attitude Era. He was the only heel they had at that point.
So do you feel like he was shoved down your throat?
As WWE champion, no, but as Intercontinental Champion when he first came in, yeah.
No,
That's
we
why
talking
people were
strictly
saying directly.
WWF champion.
No,
Oh no,
he's been shoved down our throat since he's got there because of the family he came from. He's been shoved down, including Intercontinental Champion, and that's how he ended up World Champion. They shoved him down our throats until he became World Champion, just like they did John Cena. They
Nah,
started
I
him
don't
off
agree.
with a lower title too. Didn't he
I
have
don't,
the
I
U.S.
don't.
title?
he had the U.S. title first,
He did,
And
and he
then he
graduated.
got the world
but
title.
and he got
That's
that.
how they do
He
it.
got that over. But The Rock wouldn't shove down nobody's throat as WWF champion. That's bullshit.
Obviously, he was. If he's one of your favorites, he was always on your TV screen, wasn't he? Shoved down your throat.
No, that ain't why I picked him. I picked The Rock was my favorite wrestler for the mic skills, the catchphrases, the swag when he came out, and the theme
John
music.
Cena
If you
had
want
all
my
that
honest
shit.
opinion.
John Cena had
I
all that shit.
said as the doctor of thugonomics. Now, when you
Even
shove
after the what do
hustle,
you? Even after
hustle,
the Doctor
loyalty,
the
and respect John
Thugonomics.
Cena, I'm good.
Yeah.
Chain Gang, John
Till this
Cena.
day,
Yeah,
niggas still
Yeah.
can't see
hustle,
John
loyalty,
Cena.
and
What are you talking
respect
about?
John Cena. You can keep that. I'm good. The colorful shirts and the salutes and stuff. You can have that. I'm good on that one.
So just because
Now,
you didn't like the color he wore, all of a sudden he can't be.
it ain't
You
got
know
nothing to
what?
do with the
I'm
color.
gonna get the LGBTQ community on your ass. Cause just because you ain't like he wore bright ass Skittle colors, he can't just be top five, top six. Okay.
Nah, nah. Roman
Nah, it's too
Reigns was
late.
the
It's
same
too
way,
late. I'm getting
shoved
them
down
on
your
you.
throat.
I'm getting them on you. It's too late.
The shove down your throat like just kept putting him in matches in WrestleManias. It got so bad. Brock was
They
shoved
did the
down your
same thing
throat.
with The Rock and Stone Cold. What do you? But you don't got nothing to say about them because you like them. You don't feel that they were shoved down your throat. But the
I'm
fact that
not
they
the
were
only
shoved
one in
on
this
TV every week was
conversation.
the same thing.
Keaton, the Rock and Stone Cold was shoved down your throat.
They were shoved on TV every
but
week. Now, because you
but
like them
see,
more
that
than
was
you
the
like
only
John
thing they
Cena,
had. That was the only thing
exactly,
they had. But come like 2003 when they had their last match, it had ran its course at that point. It was like, why are you putting this back on the TV
exactly.
screen?
But
But
you
The
during
don't
the
you
Attitude
WWE,
said
Era,
you don't agree that those were the two biggest stars in
oh, they
wrestling
were.
during
They were the biggest stars. Like you had to put them on TV back then
nobody
because
was
they
tired of
were.
seeing it.
Yeah, they would. People were craving to see it. Like I remember, they didn't even bring the Rock out until like the end of the show sometimes, just to keep the viewers.
and the same with John Cena. It's just a different era, like you
So,
said
yeah,
earlier.
Nah,
You know,
nah,
John Cena.
not the same.
it can't be a different area with other niggas and not John.
John Cena wasn't getting the pops that Stone Cold and The Rock were getting.
Well, I'm
And
gonna tell you what John Cena had though. He had the little kids and he had the women on his side,
Exactly, different
and
era.
that's what they
hustle,
cared about.
loyalty, respect.
He had that Hulk
That
Hogan
guy.
stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah. That to me that's homogenization.
I
He
don't
was
even know what the
modern
fuck
day
that
Hulk
means.
Hogan. He was the modern day
I
Hulk
don't know
Hogan.
how to spell it. I'm trying to think how to spell it.
You
Yeah,
feel me?
he was homogenization at its finest. Roman Reigns was homogenized. John Cena was homogenized. Hulk Hogan was homogenized. They tried to do it to Brett, but Brett had his own little thing going on. Brett kind of to a degree was shoved down your throat a little bit, but people Brett got over. He just there wasn't nothing you could do about that. But No, not
Because
no
if you
man.
say that about John and Brett, you got to say it about Sean too.
Sean, no, hell no. Shawn Michaels was ahead of his time. First of all, DX came along right as the Attitude Era was coming up. That was Shawn Michaels' idea, him and Triple H. Without that, you probably would have had no Attitude Era. Shawn Michaels was already edgy before the Attitude Era came up, posing and stuff with the belt on covers and stuff like that. The way he had his interests and all, he was already ahead of his time. There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No, hell no. He wouldn't shove down your throat. Shawn was over. Shawn was over with the Rockers, but I mean, you couldn't. They were a tag team at the time, but
Let's not go that far.
what?
The Rockers was trash. I ain't even gonna hold you.
What?
They was trash.
They're one of
When
the
they,
You
best
t-
tag teams of
you
all
talking
well,
about him
time.
and Marty Jannetty?
before
Yeah,
they came
man.
to WWE, I feel like they were
They
way
was
better before
trash.
they came to WWE.
Yeah, they
They
But
was
were
when
way
they
trash.
better
came to
before they
WWE, they
got to
got watered
WWE.
down.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
They was a whole bag of trash. Like the big bag, the big black bags. That was them.
Okay.
Leaf bags.
You know what, man?
Oh
Anyway,
man.
let's wrap this up.
You
It's been a
always count
very
on Jacory to keep it real.
No, you can always count
I,
on the
but I ain't
bullshit.
gonna
He
hold
like
you. I ain't gonna hold you.
no, you can count on him to spout some bullshit. Like I told you, he like to be a renegade. He think this shit is cool.
Bro,
That's fine
the fact
though.
that you don't think John deserves single digits, you're tripping, bro. You out of your mind.
I ain't say that. I just say he shouldn't be over the other names I just called.
I also feel he shouldn't be over other names, but I mean, shit, he deserves to be at least, like I said, 5 or 6.
No, he
Now,
should be nine,
if you put
eight.
your names on there, he still ends up 5 or 6.
Oh, so again, before we do this, I just asked you this. So Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Macho Man Randy Savage. He should be over all 6 of them people.
Yes, I feel he should be over Macho Man. That's the only one.
Hmm.
And even even with your list, I think that puts him still at around number 6.
No, it don't. I didn't even get to that would put him at 7 because I just called 6 names.
So if you move him with Macho Man, where that put him?
I wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't, but a lot of people would. You ain't everybody, is your nigga?
I don't think anybody will put John Cena over the Macho Man.
Well, like I said, you ain't everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Keaton, would
I
you put
look,
John Cena over the Macho Man?
Keith, that
I
ain't
said
everybody either.
I said I'm putting John Cena at 8 or 9.
That's where I think he should be.
Well, hey,
He
I
top
think
10,
you.
but I
Hey, look,
wouldn't put him.
I think you and Keith should be at Diddy house. But look,
No,
like I
no
said,
Diddy. Ain't no Diddy. Ain't no
we all don't
taking
get what we
nothing.
want now. You know
I
what I'm
never
saying?
really listened to any of his music.
Because you was at his house. Now go ahead and
Yeah.
wrap this up.
Okay.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Anyway, sheesh. Keaton, wrap this up.
Oh man, where do we go from here? That's the end of that list. I think if you really ask everybody at least to name the top 10, everybody gonna have a different order. But I feel like some of these guys will end up in the top 5, like you guys were saying. Y'all both made very valid points. I just like hearing y'all argue.
I, man, he just likes to talk. I'm not paying him no attention. But this list is bullshit for the most part. I think
It,
85% of it's bullshit. But
yeah,
like
clearly
I
it's
say,
good content, but clearly they did this just for the clicks. They didn't even stick to their own criteria. So it
no,
was
hell no. They started to venture off after a while. Some of this shit made no sense to me. But um, I think that's pretty much it, man. I
yeah.
mean,
That's it for this list. Follow us on social media. We are on TikTok now.
oh
And
God,
we have made it to TikTok now.
how
We're
you
gonna
gonna run
be
them
TikTok.
government
the
bans?
TikTok, not doing no dances, but we're gonna put little snippets of this. You're gonna hear Jacory going off. You're gonna hear Sherrod arguing with him. You're gonna hear different things, hot stuff from the episode. Also follow us on Instagram, and Twitter. We're not really on X. It's X, right?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. I still call it
I don't
Twitter.
pay attention. That shit became a porn site now. Anyways, just follow us on all social media and everything
I was
like
about to
that.
say something, but
I'm just, hey, look, especially since Texas took Pornhub away from us, so we gotta make do what we got. Anyway, follow us on all social media. Go to subscribe on YouTube. Get us up to 1,000. I think we're at 745
close.
subscribers
We're getting
now.
close.
We're almost there. We got new subscribers
Road to
every
1,000.
week. Roll to 1,000. Get it up there. Also, go watch that new episode of Best Damn Wrestling Stories, The Rise and Fall of Austin Aries. It's a good watch. A lot of work put into it, Like, share, subscribe, and that's all I got, fellas. What y'all got?
Yep.
I think you cover it all, man. I mean,
Happy WrestleMania weekend, man.
Happy WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
weekend. And I guess that's as good a place to end it as any. So thanks for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. And this has been the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. We'll catch you next time.